Now, it's time for one of my favorite segments, the country spotlight. Do you know what country we're doing first? Brazil. And coming to us this morning to speak on Brazil is none other than Luciana Aguillar Correa. She has done several personal projects in the area of data science and professional projects focused on resource monitoring in Azure. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Luciana Correa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Luciana. I work as a business process coordinator of CAR at the Ministry of Management and Innovation in Brazil. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for the invitation. I'm very glad to be here and know more about Caribbean DPI implementation and also share with you about the environmental DPI in Brazil, CAR. So I represent CAR as a digital public infrastructure for climate action, a global opportunity. To start, let's imagine a world where environmental data is connected, accessible, and interoperable. A world where we can monitor forests in real time, ensure fair payments for environmental services, fortify carbon markets with transparency, and also provide mechanisms to traceability. This world is not distant. It's not in the future. And this is happening now, and it's possible with DPI. Based on this scenario, why do we need a global DPI for climate? First, we can provide, we must provide an organized environmental data, global minimal standards for quality and reliability. The second, we can create smart policies, rational land use, environmental preservation, and promotion of sustainable practices. The third, strategic monitoring. We can develop tools that provide track and assessment. And first, in the end, uh, improve our carbon markets and sustainable financing by enabling accessible mechanisms to support climate solutions. Now, talking about Brazil specifically, when you talk about Brazil, it's a country that is a big player and a spotlight when we're talking about climate changing. So, what's the status of Brazil in climate scenario, in DPI climate scenario? In Brazil, we have a crucial registry that we named CAR, Rural Environmental Registry. It was created in 2012, and it's a self-declaratory, geo-referenced registry for every rural property in the country. The purpose of CAR is to integrate environmental data to assist the fight of illegal deforestation. Nowadays, a little bit about the data of CAR. Nowadays, there are about 7.6 million properties registered, and it covers about 70% of the land territory. It is near from 680 million hectares, and all this data is public. If the person has access to internet, you can download the shapefile of the car, and you can access each registry that is in the system. So a car was created with the purpose of fight of illegal deforestation, but the the registry provides so high valuable data that is being used by several other public policies, and it also enables implementation and monitoring of these public policies like environmental regularization programs that use car data to guide landowners to restoring degraded areas and complying with the environmental legislation. Another public policy is access to rural credit. Financial institutions consult car data to verify environmental compliance before granting a rural credit. I think that's important to explain that when a landowner or landholder is registered in the system, he gets two documents, and two documents are verified to the financial institutions before granting a rural credit. And a third public policy is about environmental licensing and monitoring. CAR serve as a key references for cross-checking data to monitor illegal deforestation, the main purpose, and ensure compliance with environmental laws. So we have public institutions that monitoring these two aspects of environmental in Brazil, and they use car data to do their job. So what's the reason of car success in Brazil? Because why is the registry is being requested, and it's a key for many public policies. uh, Car, as I mentioned, covers 100% of the the land of the country, and is the only land registry that could do this. And car answers two important questions, two main questions: who owns or hold the land, and what are its environmental characteristics. So, based on these questions, CAR provides data to identify areas that must be preserved. And these areas are described in the Forest Code in Brazil. One of this is legal reserve. Each property have to preserve a percentage of vegetation based on the biome. In the Amazon, the green up, the land must preserve 80% of the land. The transition zone that we call Cerrado, it's in the middle. The landowner must preserve 35%. And for the rest of the country, the other regions, there must be a 20% of preservation. Another important area is permanent preservation areas. And what is this? It is an area that is legally protected because it is environmentally fragile, like areas around the river, as you see in the photo. And based on the width of the river, there is a buffer of preserved area that must be permanently preserved. And why these two key concepts, environmental concepts, are important? Because legal reserve and permanent protection areas they are important to protect biodiversity and ecosystem services, to prevent soil erosion, like in preservation areas. There must be permanent preservation there to avoid soil erosion, sorry, and buffers again extremes uh, weather events, because these events can be a natural disaster, and like happens in Brazil last year in Rio Grande do Sul. We had the part of the state flooded because of the part of the deforestation in the hilltops that is mentioned that. So uh, Brazil has a commitment to preserve and also share the idea of environmental preservation based on legal reserve and permanent preservation areas. This is a picture of one of the cadasters. You can see the in the line, the yellow line. In this land, there is a river represented by the blue color. The green color means that there is native vegetation, and the gray is what we called consolidated area, means that there was human activity there. There is no vegetation. So this is a picture of one of the cadasters where the person must declare the perimeter of the land and what's inside of this, environmentally talking. So we have a registry that support a lot of public policies and provide high valuable data. What's the plan for CAR as DPI? It's important to mention that there is a decree that commands that MGI, the ministry, must manage CAR as a DPI. So how Brazil are dealing with this? Some of the actions, it's share the solutions with other countries. CAR was not designed to be shared. He was designed to attend a specific demand of Brazil. But it is a solution that it's interesting for to be implemented in other countries also. So we are redesigning CAR as DPG to enable that countries can build detailed environmental databases based on their needs. And we also want to share not only the technology, not only the code, but also key environmental concepts like legal reserve and permanent preservation area, because we want to show to the countries that is important for everyone preserve and why is it important. And also to because CAR is a powerful registry for climate action and also helps to achieve SDGs like the SDG 13 that's related to environmental. Another action is to promote interoperability. Nowadays, we have the the public data CAR provided in website and APIs that can be consumed by the public institutions in Brazil. And we are redesigning the actual system to pre-fill some personal data and land data, because we don't have only CAR that deal with the land data. We have other registries. CAR is specific to environmental data, but we have a funding a registry that deal with the to attest that the land is with the person, and the data that we have in the system we must have in CAR And the system also need cars data, and the user must input data in both systems. Why are this both systems aren't connected? So we are redesigning the actual system to pre-fill some personal and also land data. And the newer action is adherence to safeguards framework. We have in initial conversations with UNPD because we don't want to only implement. Also, was mentioned yesterday. It's important to keep the solution, to maintain the solution, and how do we build this um, with a lower risk and with no harm. So we are starting conversations with UNPD to build car implementing safeguards. And for the last, I'll do a call to action because the solution to the climate crisis is not to act in isolation. This is not DPI. It is connect, share, and scale. DPI is the digital infrastructure that can transform how we face this global challenge. And we only succeed if we work together. Brazil is not alone in this journey of car as a DPI. Last year, we went to India to know about their DPIs and know about some use cases and best practices, and also how to implement some of the solutions that already been built there. And we're also working with Norway to redesign car as DPG. And we are here now to share with you our perspective of DPI to solve an explanation problem, the climate crisis, because share is an important key. And Brazil won't save the problem alone. We work, then you see, we're working with two different countries, and we expect that other countries can use the rural registry also. So Brazil won't solve this problem alone. And if you want to a sustainable future, we need a global climate TPI. And Brazil is ready to contribute with this vision together with all of you. Thank you.
Do we have any questions at all? Questions to the back.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your presentation and this extraordinary work happening in Brazil. It's great to know. Um, I'd like to know if you have local people actually in the environment working working with you. I see that the data you're collecting is geolocated, but do you also have people on the ground working with the registry who you're training up in this type of activity?
Yeah. Each state in Brazil have a state level institution to manage car. And these institutions usually provide technical people to to do the cadastre. And also some landowners hire some technical people to manage and do the cadastre. The high level, the federal level, we must provide the solution and keep this the operational step. It's provided by the state. It's a loan. It's a loan. The person who owns a piece of land, rural land, can require a loan from a bank, and based on some criterias, it can get the money or not. I will explain this in the next panel. It's a case study. Yes. Banks use car data to verify if that piece of land is compliant with the environmental laws, and based on the result, the law can be provided or not.
So it becomes a verification for the banks to really determine loans for these persons living farmers, or is it just rural landowners,
Farmers.
farmers?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Very interesting project.
Thank you.
The use case you just referred to, was that by design or just an outcome?
The car SDPG.
Yes, and the use by the banks.
The banks. No, it's already been done since a long time.
Perhaps I need to be a bit clearer. I just want to know the the use by the banks when you were designing this project.
Mhm.
That was intended in the design stage or just resulted from the project?
It was intended.
Okay.
I get it now. Sorry.
Thank you so much. And we're going to keep the ball rolling.